Right. We're good to go. Streaming. Yes. Word. Can't click. What's up? What's up? What's up? Here we go. Here we go. We are live. I'm trying to get this Instagram to work, but it doesn't seem to want to click go live. So after you go live, Instagram's pretty annoying sometimes. Don't know why that didn't work. Live. Title. Public. Next. I am currently messing with the Instagram stream and wondering why it's not going live. Copy. Well, oh well. Instagram doesn't get a live today. Too bad. All right, microphone's working. Everything's working. 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day. I am Gabriel Rathway, and we are going to set things up now. What does that mean? Having trouble. There we go. Got this vertical stream thing kicking in, and it's kind of weird. So, all right, that's a little closer. I also need to quit being an old man and wear my glasses, but I just don't feel like it. They're annoying, and the more you wear them, the more you have to wear them. Okay. Now what? I want to move this camera over. That makes it unbalanced. That's right. So. Maybe a little higher. Nah, I guess it's better in the center. Yeah. All right, so today we got added Rumble. Instagram will get back on there tomorrow. We'll figure it out. I think it's because I have to use my one account. The other account doesn't work. But it is what it is. So what's going on today? Today, day 11, write a new book. 3 books this month, Island Lit. Home. Currently, about 15,000 words in, I think. Let's see. 13,325. All right, so that's probably 20,000 words when it's done, rewritten, and edited. So 80 to go on that at least, and then 200 more for the next 2 books. So 280, 20 days. I don't know. It's probably not likely, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's a ridiculous goal, but whatever. I know I can do 100,000 relatively easily. So 150 shouldn't be too hard. 200 probably should be doable too, but 300 just seems like a lot. I don't know. I'm going to spend all the next few days like just seeing how much I can see how much I get done by the end of the week. By 15th, if I'm done with book 1 recording by the end of the week, then I can definitely get 2 done, maybe 3, maybe. It'll be a struggle. It'll be a struggle. It's a struggle. It'll be a struggle. Anyway, so yeah. So today the goal is to get some admin work done as usual. and then get some rewrites and edits done on Warrior Academy. I want to get this finished by the end of the month and submitted to the publisher. Yeah, it's cold as it is so so cold today. It is so cold today. It's ridiculously cold today. I woke up, it was like 70 yesterday. It's beautiful. Today is 37 degrees. It's crazy. So cold. All right, I got to put the obligatory stuff in the chat. So 4.111, that means we have another 1 star. We got 2 1 stars, I think. Oh, oof. Let's see what they said. People don't like it. People like it. People don't like it. We'll get back there. Let me do this first. I don't want to start off with the negatives. Let's start off with the positives. So if this is your first time watching the stream, then I am Gabriel Gabriel Rathwig, and I am an author. And this is a stream to show you basically an author's workday and then how to write a book from start to finish. And yeah, I've been doing this since July as an alternative mode of marketing / accountability for holding myself accountability for writing. You know, it's real easy to not want to do work during the day. When you work from home, there's a lot of things that you could do besides working when you're self-employed, you know, and you're your own boss. What I'm doing here is, while I was switching through all those links, is because I was trying to get the cleanest link. And cleanest link is means the cleanest, shortest link from Amazon to your book. You see, they're just Amazon GP product link. That's the number. And then, if anybody didn't know, this is the actual ASIN here. That's your link. That's the number on your book. So there you go. If anybody was curious, from Chef Book 6. All right, those in there. All right. So let's see what the lovely reader said. I imagine they didn't love the book. Let's find out. Sheldon, we know, didn't like it. Paul Daly, oh, it's a 3. 3s aren't bad. 3s are usually constructive criticism. So here it is, more like reading a cookbook than a story. While the character is a chef in the future, too much of the storyline was spent detailing the dishes being prepared. Enough, we get it already. Move on with the story as a whole and stop padding it out with cooking recipes. I understand, Paul. I understand. It is in the title of the book, but if you do not want to read the chef's recipes in the book, then don't. I try to make it entertaining like as I can, but hey man, I get it. Those comments don't bother me. It annoys me that I'm down from 4.3 down to 4.1, and it'll take me till the end of the month for a lot of the ratings to kick in to bring it up to 4.5 or above. Hey Lilith, how's it going? Yeah, exactly. It's about a chef. But hey, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know? I don't mind. You should hear some of the things people say, like, I remember I got a review, no, email. He emailed me and said, I hope you die. Your book, no, it goes, your book sucks, the music sucks, your writing sucks, you should kill yourself. I hope you die. I was like, okay, fuck. That was like my first book. I was like, all right, well, I don't think they're super excited about it, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's go down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so those links are done. Talking about that's done. Looked at reviews. That's fun. Let's see how sales are going. If anybody's curious. So today, 8 a.m. 8:15, 8:13 Eastern Standard. Amazon Web Services. I've been like told to kill myself and like just people really feel free to say whatever they want on the internet, which is crazy. But I was in restaurants forever too, so like I bartended and managed, and you know, I've dealt with the best and worst of people, and you know, people just say shit they don't mean a lot. And if you confront them in person, they'd be like, "I would never say that to you," but weirdos. Anyway, how does AWS work? AWS, Amazon Web Services, is Pacific time, so it's 3 hours earlier, so it's 5:15 a.m. over there. They update their servers, I want to say 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific. So by 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, you have pretty updated numbers from the day before. But they also cut off your sales at 12 midnight West Coast time, so 3 a.m. East Coast time. So from 3 to 8, so from basically 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, your numbers aren't really good. The reporting services aren't good because they're updating their servers, they're transferring over. But by 11, everything's pretty solid. They're okay, but it's pretty solid by then. So like this is pretty much all these sales are pretty much the holdover from midnight to 5 a.m. and that's all that came in West Coast time. So today is not too much, you know, because it's early. So this is, I kind of count this as yesterday's sales. And yesterday we hit, you know, 55,000 pages, 20 orders, and 305. So I kind of combined those. So that's like 405, 25 sales, 25. So 75K, 25 orders, 400 sales. And that's about a full day's sales for me that I think is appropriate when a book's about the book, how it's ranking, how many days it's been, 11 days, and so on. Also, before I forget, to all the veterans, happy Veterans Day. I'm also a veteran. Called out, my dad's a veteran, my grandfather is a veteran, my sister's a veteran. You know, a lot of service in the family. So happy Veterans Day, everybody, and thank you so much for your service. And that wasn't a real salute, that was a cheesy salute. I can real salute, but I'm not doing that right now. Anyway, so moving on. All right, that's done, talked about that. Let's see. We'll go into here. Woo, that's that. So the goal for the end of this release cycle for this book was I hope to be over 5,000 Amazon followers. So I have 90 or 87 to go. Normally, I'd give myself a 3-month window to do that. But since I'm doing a book release a month for the next 8 months, because that's November, December, yeah, 8 more book releases in a row every month. I'm hoping I hit this before Christmas. 5K. I'd like to hit 5K followers, but we'll see. The goal eventually is 10,000 followers, and 10,000 followers is basically, hey, I don't need to worry about people buying my books anymore. I don't need to market. I don't need any of that. 10,000 followers is every time I put a book out, I'm fine. 30K, 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 you know? But got to hit double the followers, and that will take, I'm hoping the end of this next 9 months, I'll be way over, real close to that goal. But we'll see. Anyway, so let's see, sales ranks. All right, so this is one of the huge benefits that come from releasing a book in a series is the previous books shoot up in rank, right? So since book 6 is doing well, as seriously a book a month, yeah, well, okay, so there's a caveat. I've written 3 books last year, so I put 1 book out last year, and it's been okay. I put 2 books out last year and only 1 book in a year. So last October, I released 1 in this November. So, but over that year, I banked 3 books. 2 other books I'm redoing. That's 5. I got another one I'm gonna write. That's 6. And then I have a new series I'm coming out. So this is the Island Lit. So I hope as long as I have Island Lit done by March, I'll have all the 9 book front. But yeah, it's kind of cheating because I took a year to backlog some books. I never have done that before. I've never taken time to backlog books because I've always needed the money. So, but now, you know, I'm really interested to see how. So I plan on releasing a book a month, but I'm kind of waiting on how Athon Books plans on releasing my books. So I'm just kind of going in through there. So I've got 6 books window, a 6 book window. Yeah, 6 books. I have 6 books to put in that window, depending on when Athon releases the trilogy that I have for them. I also have to give them the last book in that series, which is done and almost fully finished. I just have to finish the editing process, which is like the last couple chapters. Everybody, good morning. Say hello to the monster. This is Tayuki. She is a new member of the family. She's a wild cat. She's a wild monster. Yeah, anyway, so that's the goal. So by June of next year, I hope to be, by June of next year, I hope to have multiple books in the top 100 of Amazon. We'll see. That's the goal. But as I was saying, whenever you release a new book, your old books always kick up. And I've said this before, but like from Chef book 1, and that's up to 32,000, right? That's great. Book 2, 49, book 5, 50, you know, so they're all up in the higher. That means there's at least one person buying and at least a couple people reading them on Kindle, you know? Even I Am Gamer, which was my older ones that needs to be re-edited and put out, is getting play. So is White Soul. See, Earth Online, not so much, but then the normal ones are getting, you know, so that's really good. So you get like a double dipping back on your catalog. And that's the whole point of how 20 books to 50K was you backlog your catalog and people find your book, the newest book, and then they read your catalog and it's, you know, strikes up. So, you know, there you go. Next. Opus, Warrior Academy. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. I think we're on the 12th, maybe. All right, so I think on the 13th at 5? Nope, 3 p.m. So 5 p.m. on the 13th is the next. No, I don't. But my audiobooks make money for the audiobook company, which is a thing. I really should. Okay, so I could make money with my books if they're borrowed from the library, from apps like Libby or Hoopla, but I just have to submit my books to the library, fill out the things, do the work, and then yes, I can make money and quite a decent amount of money, like a lot of money, like a fucking shit ton of money, like for people, like thousands of dollars across the US if I did that, and I am too lazy to do it. Like, so no, I personally don't, but a lot of other authors do, and yeah, I'm a lazy piece of shit. So I find it enough work for me to like write, speech to text, write, edit, rewrite, stream, social media, then like live my life, take care of my family, take care of my house, do all the yard work, do all the help with the housework, you know. It's just a lot of shit to do, and I make excuses for things that would make me more money and that I should do, like right now. But yeah, it's a really good thing to do. You should definitely do it. You should definitely do it. 100% do it. Talk to somebody else who does it. I don't go on. For example, here, let's do search. Library. Does that not work in here? It does not work in here, does it? Here we go. Oh, library. payout for, yeah, Tantor makes money. Yeah, payout for authors books. Okay, there's a, this doesn't say it outright, but there's like a certain amount of money you get per book, and the government pays you and puts it all the libraries and get paid out for it. It's really freaking solid. Audiobooks too. And then you get like each time, like every few years that the books, like if you get your books in there, when you get your books in there, you get paid every few years to renew the license. So it's like a, it's solid. It's a solid thing to do. And that's why you see these audiobook companies give out these contracts for books that you wouldn't think would make money, because they're gonna make the money back 100% of the time, because they get them all into the library system, which is crazy. And that's how these other companies, Hoopla and Libby and stuff, that's how they're making their money. So they're getting these audiobooks in, and then they're taking like a percentage of whatever. Yes, I should do that. It would make me money. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a couple of these, and then I'm going to do a little Warrior Academy, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm cold. I got stuff to do. Wife's in New York. She gets back today, I hope, depending on that's my phone. I love dropping my phone everywhere and throwing it. It just, I don't know, I get such a kick out of breaking my phone. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get as much recording done today as I can. I'm gonna see if I can get I would like to get to 25,000 by the end of the day. And when I come on the stream tomorrow, hopefully that's where I'll be at. But oh, there's the wife. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, flight isn't canceled. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do 5 p.m. November 13th. 5 p.m. November 13th. And I believe it was here. And is that where we finished? Yeah, 5 p.m. November 13th. Wait, 1 p.m. Here we go. 3 p.m. Yep. Okay. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. 13th. What else? What else? So I'm doing a podcast today. I'll be doing a podcast with Dom today. StoryForge. Sometime this early afternoon, probably 1-ish, 2-ish. Probably sometime between 12 and 1. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Yeah, such a monster. Well, I think I'm gonna have to, I was thinking, Lilith, I met those people at the conference, or maybe not. Yeah, I met them. They didn't know who I was, but I met them at the conference in Vegas when I went in 2023. And I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy, But I don't know. My wife's really worried about her flight being canceled, and as am I. But we'll see how it goes. All right. What was I, at 7 p.m.? So we'll do 9 p.m., I think. 9 p.m. on the 13th. Schedule. And then 11. Oh, see, she like gets by my foot, then she attacks it, and I don't see her, and then I kick her in the face because I'm an asshole and I feel bad. But in actuality, it's because she's a monster, and she's sitting right by my foot and wants to get stepped on like crazy cat. But I'm trying to make her a shoulder cat, which is a lot more difficult than you would think, because her little claws they hurt like a son of a bitch. All right, let's make sure 11, 9. All right. So 1 a.m. on the 14th will do. This is Opus. I know some people have been watching, but this is Opus. It's an AI program that you upload your videos to, and it cuts. You give it some prompts, and it cuts the video into like different snippets that you can post on social media. And so this has really made it accessible for me to like do my own social media posting, which is crazy. Because before, this would have cost me so much money and time to do it. But also, you know, I feel bad that this could have been somebody's job, but, you know, I don't have that much money, man. It's a lot of money to do this stuff. It's funny because it was a lot of money to do this stuff. It's not a lot of money now, but it used to be. But when I went to school for first computer science to be a computer programmer. And then I decided fucking Calc 3 was not my favorite thing. I finished Calc 2. Got to Calc 3, Calculus 3, and I was like, oh, this sucks. And then I was like, shit, what's left? And it still had like differential equations and some other higher level math. And I was like, I do not want to spend my life fucking learning higher level math. I just don't enjoy it. The language of mathematics doesn't like come natural to me. It takes a lot of effort. So like higher level math takes like a lot of time and study for me. And I just don't want to do it. But so I switched from computer science to digital media, which is basically just web design. And I graduated college in 2006, right? 2006. So it's 2025, 19 years ago. This is before Squarespace and the other one, I forgot what it's called, Wix. It was before they had a program called Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver was like a CD program that you put in, and fucking it was like a template-based limited code version of web design. But that came out after I graduated college. And like when I was in college, I had to learn like shit code, like, and HTML and Python, all this garbage shit that I didn't really want to do because I don't love coding. It's not my thing. I'm not a language guy. I don't love the language of coding. Any of them, any programming language. I don't like any of them. I find them very not intuitive. I just don't, my brain doesn't work like that. But I mean, it can. And if I focus, I could do it. I just dislike the language. I don't find them very attractive. I find the languages of programming to be like harsh and guttural. Like, to me, coding is like somebody speaking to me in like a cross between Eastern European, Bulgarian, Czech mixed with like Vietnamese tiger mom, you know. It just sounds like, it just reads bad to my eyes. Whereas I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else. It just, I don't know. They're so like rudimentary. I don't know, whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just don't like them. I don't like programming languages. They're ugly. I'm gonna make somebody mad about that, but whatever. Anyway, where was I going with this? Don't like programming languages. Changed my, so I changed my degree to digital media, designing web design, right? And then, like right after I graduated, they came out with these programs that you could just do it your fucking self. So my degree was meaningless. I didn't want to go back to school and get a fucking degree in computer science. So what does that leave? You know, something else. I thought about going back and getting a degree in English, political science, journalism, becoming a journalist. 1 a.m. on the 14th, 3 a.m. on the 14th. But I don't want to do, 13th? Yeah, 14th. But I don't want to spend that money, you know. GI Bill only goes so far. It is what it is. You know, you spend your life living it, and then you get to a point where you do what you want to do. I'm just lucky I hit that point at 35 as opposed to like 45 or 50. Some people, fuck, man, I feel so bad for people who live their whole life, let's see, 1, 3, 5, doing something they hate, and then in their 60s or 70s, like, figure it out, like, fuck, or their 50s. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not, you know, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Life's tough, you know. It's not It's not fair, I guess, for everybody. It's just not fair. I'm just kind of rambling because this is boring work, and I'm kind of stream of consciousness at the moment, thinking about mostly how I'm gonna go on with Island Lit. So I know I left off when I was recording, like I'm trying to do this thing where exposition, but not info dumping. I don't know, it's hard. Was I at 5? Am I at 7 now? I think it's 7. Let's just double check. Nope, fuck, this was 7, wasn't it? Ah, we're at 9. Oh well, it happens. So my brain's kind of like half focused on this and half focused on the book I'm kind of trying to write. And I'm always actually, I'm always kind of like that in my daily life. My wife kind of hates it. She says, but I think she secretly loves it because 9/11. 9/11. Fucked up. Because I'm always kind of distracted. I think a lot of people are a little bit like that, but you know, whatever. All right, so that was 11. How about 1? 1. Do 1. Okay, 1, 3. Did I give a writing tip today? I don't think I did. Let's think. What's a good writing tip today? I give a writing tip at the beginning of every stream, and after a few streams, it's kind of run out of writing tips to give and just kind of start cycling back. 5. 3, 5. All right. So I usually stop at 89. 89 is these scores are what Opus gives the likelihood of the clip going viral and people watching it. So I stop around 89. I think that's a good stop. This was day 6, 14 days. Let's go back home. Okay. So that was 5 p.m., right? 5 p.m. on the 14th. So we're now looking at 7 p.m. on the 14th. So that was here. So now we're here. All right, so let's knock this out real quick so I don't forget. And the 14th, nope, 14th, 7 p.m. Okay, then we'll both schedule this in a few minutes. Well, let's just do it now so I don't forget. Okay, let's go to the calendar. And I think we're into here. That is the 19th at, so the 20th at midnight, I believe. The 20th at midnight. Select all. We'll do YouTube right quick. Bulk schedule the 20th at midnight. The 20th at midnight. Customize that. The 20th time. 12 a.m. every 2 hours. Save. All right. That's cruising along. All right. Schedule. So that takes care of the YouTube ones. What's kind of interesting, you get a notification every time the the Opus clips come out scheduled, and I can tell exactly when I forgot, like when I ended the other posts, because it's just YouTube, and then an hour later, YouTube, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta post the rest of the things, you know? It's okay though, is what it is. So let's do home. All right. I think this is the one. Yeah, we'll leave that there. It's almost done. All right. And I'm pretty sure that's where we left off, track 3 yesterday. So I think we're going to move on to here. We'll do track 3. Make sure. Wife. Good. I think we'll do 3 and see how that goes. We're already at 35 minutes. I don't know if I want to do this all day. Because I also have to do the podcast, you know. Remember this here, you want to make sure this is not indented, italicized, bold, or a different size, because it'll fuck up the, whatchamacallit, conversion for KDP. See, keep it. So currently, this is what I'm going to do. I'm re-editing Warrior Academy for re-release. I think the 1st of December. I think I'm going to shoot for the 1st of December, and then I'll send it to Tantor Audio. They'll get the audiobook going. That'll probably come out in February, maybe March. But I know I just heard back from my rep at Tantor, and he's going to let me know as soon as he gets a date on when the audio might be released. So that'll be cool. I'm excited about that. The cool thing about the audio releasing after the... Well, let me rephrase that. There's positives and negatives about releasing your book with the audio and without it. The positives are that there are people who will only do audio and they don't read. And so you'll get a lot of sales on audio when it comes out. It's new. It'll help you overall ranking. And the people who read it, they'll also just read it. There's some negatives there. And it just depends on how you want to look at that as negative. Like, there are some people who will read it if it's not out on audio. And then they'll also get it on audio. Now, those people will still usually get both if it's both available on release day. But if you don't have them both available on a release day, what happens is the people will get it on digital, ebook, read it, then get it again later on audio and listen to it again. And it's not like that's a great thing. There's no knock on that. That's a huge thing. But the benefit of that is you get another increase in your sales. And so your ranking, so like getting that extra bump in your ranking a month or two after your ebook comes out is huge, because the audiobook sales will push the ebook up in ranking, and then you'll get another round of ebook sales. So if you can afford to wait for that audiobook money, then you can get better sales for your ebook. That's why. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time to switch to a different... let's take it up a notch. Let's go, 80s. Woo! Let's go. See what happened here? 16? Yeah. I don't know why it does that. Let's see if we can get rid of it now, and if it doesn't come back. Okay. See, now it's still there. So when I was writing Warrior Academy, it was at like the peak of all the craziness, like during the first Trump election. And everybody was so fucking crazy that I thought it would be funny to make fun of everybody. Well, didn't work out the way I thought it would, and it just made everybody pissed off. So I'm going to not do that again and just focus on the art and not being silly and making fun of everybody. Maybe at a later date in time, but I thought it'd be amusing to use like certain political people's names as future slurs and cuss words and stuff, and you know, both sides of the aisle as like an amusing thing just to make fun of everybody. People are not amused. People were not amused. So that is definitely going away. I miscalculated the depths of people's inability to get nuance. Hello, you are writing sci-fi? I am writing sci-fi. Haven 2? Yes, sir. Or ma'am, or person. I don't know. But I am writing sci-fi. This is a current book that I'm going to be rereading and editing is Warrior Academy. It is a anime and manga manhwa inspired lit RPG based in a post-apocalyptic future where the characters are, thank you, Lilith. It was hilarious. And if you were mildly fucking, not mildly, if you got jokes, like, but people just get so, people were so hyper partisan and so hyper like brainwashed and screwed up that like they just couldn't get the jokes. Like, I don't know, whatever. It was funny. I thought it was funny, but you know, you can't always expect everybody to get your humor. But anyway, I was saying it's a post-apocalyptic anime manhwa inspired lit RPG. It's one of the first ones I wrote, and it's one of my favorites. It is actually like my baby, and I'm redoing it now. I really pushed to sell it to my audiobook company because I love it so much, and I kept on. They said no the first time, and I was like, well, I don't want to do anything then. Then finally they said yes because I was so adamant about it. But like, it's like something. It's very important to me that this book does well, this series, because I really love it. It's so much fun. But yeah. So to answer your question, it is a sci-fi fiction fantasy book. Almost all of them are time travel fantasy, historical fiction, alternative history, sci-fi. Yeah, a lot of that. So currently, I am almost done with the formatting. And of course, when I upload it into KDP, it'll be screwed up, I'm sure, and we'll have to figure it out. But hey, that's just part of it. Like even here, Miss Parker is an homage to the best hilarious, ridiculous movie of the mid 90s, Friday, you know? So like, I don't know. I find it amusing. People just, I don't know. People just don't find as much humor in the silliness as I do. Not everybody, but a lot of people don't. And like, it's funny just trying to ramble, you know, while I'm doing monotonous task. But it's cool too, because that's part of the whole idea of the podcast that we do, Dom and I do, the Story Forge. It's like, it seems like it's a real simple thing. Just create a story on the fly. Just make up a story and tell it. And it is really hard. It is really, 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 really hard. I think about watching things like Whose Line Is It Anyway, or any of that improv stand-up, or even just stand-up in general, or like rap battles. And it's like, holy crap, it's really, really hard to do that. All right. Yeah, as I reread and edit this, it makes me sad that my grammar and writing was so bad 9 years ago almost. So bad, so bad, so bad. It just, It's kind of depressing how bad it was, and it's actually humbling because it makes sense to me now. I go, why didn't everybody love the book? I'm like, oh, because it reads like shit. It reads like shit. It reads like fucking retard wrote it, and I was a retard, or I am. I don't know. I need to get some more coffee. So before I start, coffee, and then we're gonna get going and knock out track 3. Hey, cat. How you doing, Wes? I have another cat. He's giant. Maine Coon looking, but he's a rag doll named Wesley. Freak. He was a wild boy, too. Okay, 8:46. I think I'm going to start using my Apple headphones instead of the wired ones because it's nice being freedom of not having a cord, you know, and just being able to walk around. I really like that. Okay, let us begin. All right, War Academy, track 3. Should I stay or should I go? By The Clash. I flew 15 feet out into the open air. I flew out. My leap carried me 15 feet out into the open air. My leap carried me 15 feet out. I'm sorry, cat. You want to say hi? This is my other cat. Say hi to Wesley. Hey, buddy. He doesn't love the kitten, but he deals with her. He's a good boy. All right, there. But the ground, dozens, with nothing between my body and the hard ground, dozens of feet below. But that didn't matter. My full attention was on my katana, comma, as it rocketed. Okay, let's see. My leap carried me 15 feet out into the open air with nothing between my body and the hard ground dozens of feet below. Wait, with nothing between my body and the hard ground dozens of feet below me. But that didn't matter. My full attention was on my katana as it rocketed forward the remaining few feet toward the speeding mag train. Elation coursed through my body as my blade stabbed into the back of the speeding AT auto what did I say it's called? Of the speeding train with ease. Wait, of the of the train's hard metal exterior with ease. The sharpened steel blade causing it to sink hilt deep, allowing it to sink hilt deep into the train's exoskeleton, as if it were paper mache and not hardened metal. Nice, Gurk, I tried to say, but the strap attached to my katana's sheath yanked tight, almost almost wrenching my arm out of its socket as I was dragged along helplessly in its wake. 6:59 a.m. 1 minute, Freak yelled. Yelled Freak. My hand. No, we'll just leave it like that. My body flapped along in the slipstream of the AT like a human flag blowing in the wind. My body fluttered, that's a good word, fluttered along in the slipstream of the AT like a human flag flapping in the wind as I clung on for dear life. Hung on for dear life, my claw-like grip clinging to my impromptu hold. The sheath was in my left hand, the strap in my right, and I was waving around wildly in the wind and rain like a fish on a hook. Hey guys, what are you doing? Hey. Hey. Mad at her? Hi. Hey, buddy. Aw. My bigger cat is having trouble getting used to the littler cat. She is wanting to play, wanting to cuddle, wanting to be affectionate, but he's just barely getting, like, just dealing with her being around, so he is definitely not in the cuddle with the kitten stage. Oh, and she just fell off the couch. So ridiculous. Okay. With white knuckled intensity. The sheath was in my left hand, the strap in my right, and I was waving around wildly in the wind and rain like a fish on a hook. I craned my neck, using what available strength I had left. I craned my neck and saw that the high school was quickly approaching. It was only the main gates were only 100 yards away now and closing fast. Okay. She just wants to play. Just wants to play. Just wants to play with everything. I don't have any shock collars, so don't worry about that. Woo! Jump, jump, boom. Time was running out. Period. I needed to take action. Now, with a Herculean, whatever. With a Herculean effort, I pulled myself forward, straining against the force of the speeding mag train, doing what was basically a version of a one-armed pull-up. Once, after an interminable amount of time and struggle, I reached my destination. Then opened my mouth wide and bit down on the sheath's rugged leather, my jaw muscles clenching tight with all their might. That is what's called, I was going to say alliteration. I think it's alliteration, tight with might, but it's not alliteration. It's a mnemonic, a rhyming mnemonic. With my mouth fully engaged on the strap, I was able to let go with my hands and hold on to my train's MacGyver-like attachment, then switch my grip with my now free limbs. I used them to grab hold of the strap at the point as close to the train's as close to the base as possible. With both of my hands in place, I steeled myself for the next step. Okay. So this is going to sound bougie as fuck. Here, let me just answer this text and I'll tell you why it's going to sound bougie as fuck. So my wife, I said, is in New York and she's in there with family for a Broadway play. And we all know that the FAA is all fucked up right now. The government shut down, flights are canceled, 40% of flights, blah, 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 blah. So she's asking me if she should fly home with family who has a private plane. And I said, yes. And she's asking me if she should fly with them or take commercial. And I was like, go with the fucking rich lady, dude. Baby, just. I won the wife lottery, so that's a thing. Sorry, I did. But anyway, okay. So two deep breaths later, I began pulling my way up the remaining distance with all my might until I had both hands on the hilt of my sword. After which, I put both feet, through which I used as a lever and placed both feet on the AT wall. Both feet on the AT wall on both sides of my blade, then readied myself for the last part of my... We have trouble streaming to Facebook. This may show Facebook as possible stream was ended or deleted on Facebook. Well, Facebook isn't working. Oh well. Happens. I don't know. Whatever. Is what it is. Okay, so I think she's going to fly back with the lady, with her Kuzan. Sane escapade. Period. With my feet firmly planted and my hands holding the hilt, holding my hilt in a firm two-handed grip, I counted down in my head. I began counting down in my head as my eyes stayed locked on to the incoming structure. Ruksha. That's how old I am. I used to shop at Structure. If anybody knows what that is. Is everything... No, okay, good. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm tired. Oof. Hi. 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 Sorry, I have to give this little mooger. You gonna go sleep yet? Yeah, I think she's gonna go sleep finally. Hi. Okay, let's see if we can get her to go to bed. Hi. Go to sleep, little crazy. Here's your little bacon. She has a little bacon filled with catnip. I'm getting her drugged up at a young age. 3, 2, 1. Heaving and jumping backwards simultaneously. Wait. Simultaneously, comma, heaving and jumping backward. I yanked, heaving, jumping backward, and... Oh, never mind. That's why. Simultaneously heaving and jumping backward. Heaving, jumping backward, and yanking my katana So I heaved, jumped backward. Simultaneously, I heaved, jumped backward, and yanked my katana from the AT. Then I used my momentum. I used the momentum from my jumping, heaving, pulling maneuver to continue my reverse motion into a backflip out, up, and into the open air. Then followed immediately by hitting my upward parabola and then arcing down, downward toward the fast approaching concrete surface below. And extremely unforgiving concrete surface. That's good. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. While flipping, I used my body's centrifugal force to turn in a 360-degree twist, of which at its apex While flipping, I use my body's centrifugal force to turn in a 360-degree twist, period. At my apex, I spat out, I spat out my sheath, grabbed it with my left hand almost instantly before it could fly away, and without hesitating, continued my turn through the air. Period. So such a habit, space. When my view of the gates came back around again, I was already slamming my katana's blade into the opening of its sheath as I landed on the ground. With both feet in perfect symmetry and balance. Immediately, I fell into a crouch as I landed, left knee going down to the pavement. My sword, now sheathed and held in my left hand, was over my head, while my right hand was spread palm open on the ground, on the concrete, on the pavement for balance. In waiting the appropriate amount of time for everyone to ascertain my arrival, I looked up. A few feet in front of me were the tall, shining, the tall, blindingly bright metal gates of, better known as Warrior Academy. But the gates weren't the only object of my attention. Groups of students, all wearing the black and gold uniform of the high school, paused as they streamed through the pointy-tipped portals, stopping momentarily, to stare at the student who had just fallen from the sky. Well, that went about as well as it could have. I murmured under my breath. Originally, I hadn't wanted to make an entrance like that. Initially, I hadn't wanted to make an entrance like that, especially not on my first day of school. Now, people were going to talk and say dumb things about the boy who had to fly into school the first day like a retard. Amazingly, though, after an embarrassingly long moment passed, everyone turned away from me and headed on into the school, not giving me a second, third, or even a first glance in some cases. That was convenient, I guessed, murmuring again at the lack of attention I hadn't wanted to garner in the first place. "7 a.m. Ding, dang, dong. The bell rang and the school gates began to close. Oh, damn!" I shouted. I jumped up and ran. As I shouted, passing through the closing edifices just as they clanged shut. Looking back through the metal bars, I saw a few dozen students running up, still running up, and a few others who were grabbing onto the metal barriers as they'd only reached them after they clanged shut. "Oh, let me in. I almost made it this time," one kid shouted. "Come on, please. It was 1 second," another student cried. The rest of the students who came running up on the wrong side of the gates said variations of the same, plus some other less savory excuses, many of which I won't repeat. My master taught me that gentlemen do not repeat such vulgarities. A voice, a throat cleared behind me. Turning around at the sound, at first I was perplexed as I looked left and right and didn't see anyone. The throat sounded out again. This time, damn it, I have to go through all this shit again. God damn it, I hate that. This stupid, I hate that your generations after mine don't do double spaced periods. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. The throat sounded out again. This time, I looked down, and I saw the prettiest pair of blue eyes I had ever seen in my entire life. "You're going to be late for class, young man," the pint-sized beauty told me. My mind heard the words, but my brain didn't register them. My mind heard the words, but my brain didn't register them as anything but sounds. Ones that traveled from this perfect vision standing in front of my gaping mouth. To my bulbous ears. I'm not an exceptionally tall person, but the woman in front of me was only 4.5, give an inch or so, feet tall. Besides that, however, she was perfectly proportioned. Long, lustrous blonde hair framed a heart-shaped face with a slightly curved set of ice blue eyes. Her nose was a perky little upturned thing that just begged to be kissed, followed up by 2 cherry red lips that were full and voluptuous. It was as if they were created to accentuate everything that came out of the pixie-like sexpot's lips, with just adding just a hint of longing and lust to the end of every sentence. Holy crap, what was going on with me? Her skin was like polished porcelain. I wanted to run my hands up and down her white, milky softness. Did I already mention her large, round breasts and perfectly apple-shaped bottom? Which were covered by a dark gray pencil skirt and tight white blouse. Her outfit was finished off with 6-inch high black stilettos with red soles. She was even shorter giving her an extra few inches in height. All of which wait a minute. I shook my head and glared at my AR sprite. Freak! WTF, I hissed, admonishing my R sprite. At least he had the decency to look chagrined. Sometimes his emotions bled into mine, and caused me to have take his thoughts as my own, and which usually consisted of the more animalistic of tendencies. I cleared my throat, blushing a bright red as I answered the vision standing before me. I'm sorry, I stammered. As my AR sprite finally gave me some much needed information. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I stammered as my R sprite finally gave me some much needed information. Miss Parker, level unknown, faculty, class S, rank S, Warrior Academy, the Warriors, race, human, weapon unknown, affinities unknown, AR sprite unknown, skills unknown, wins, draws, losses unknown, known information teacher, WA, dueling teacher. Oh my fucking God. This little lady was a dueling teacher. I swallowed audibly and stood up as straight as I could. Yes, well, be that as it may, you should get to class. You don't want to be late on your first day of school, do you? She asked, nodding towards the students still stuck outside the gates. Otherwise, you'll end up like them. What happens to them? I asked, glancing in their direction. She laughed, a light tinkling thing like bells in summer combined. Then she just shook her head. Ding, dang. She just shook her head in the negative. Five minutes till homeroom. 5 minutes till homeroom. A voice sounded over the PA system. You'd better hurry. Don't worry, you will see the tardy students again soon. You will reconvene with the tardy students soon, she answered, then turned and walked off, disappearing into the school grounds. I shook my head, hating to see her leave, but loving to watch her go. With a newly plastered grin on my face, I stood up tall and stepped forward, joining the rest of the students as they walked through the double doors to the high school. As they walked along the avenue toward the high school, campus, I paused as we arrived at the largest at the auditorium. I paused right before entering, causing a slight bottleneck, and took a deep breath. Then, with a nod to myself to steel my shaky nerves, I strode forward through the double doors to Warrior Academy, my new high school, and the place I'd be spending the next 4 years of my life. I hope my master was right and this would be worth it. Hopefully, I'd finally find some answers. All right, that is done. Track 3. Good. Page 33 of 302. We have 271 pages to go. All right, it's enough for today. At an hour and a half, we'll call it. Everybody, thank you for watching. We're on Rumble now. Instagram didn't work out today, but we'll figure it out. So that is Facebook messed up too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 possible streams. 6 worked. We're going to get this working, man. We're going to figure it out. You know, it's going to go. But, yeah, we'll get some more speech to text on Island Lit Home. I'm going to figure out a title for that. Title for that. I think something like Home Depot somewhere is going to be in there. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Home Defense, Defender. I don't know. Home Defender. I don't know. Something like that. But I'll figure it out. I hope everybody has a good Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day. Check out the books. I'll be back on in a couple hours. Storyforge. If you want to watch an excellent author, Dominique Mondesi, and myself, another excellent, amazing author, create a story out of the blue and have fun with it. I think we're currently in a post-apocalyptic arc. We're having fun with it. Tim and Dave, everything's taking place in London for some reason. I don't know why. I just kind of defaulted there because I think that's a place we've both been, and I know he hasn't been where I live. So anyway, thank you for watching. Links in the chat. And yeah, be back in a few hours. Let's see. There's from Chef. Deuces, people. Lilith, thank you so much. We have people watching on YouTube, Twitch. We had them on X and stuff earlier. So anyway, everybody, adios, and stream. Peace.